Hi everyone, I want to show you something insane that's currently in development in the world of AI that we'll probably be able to play around with in 2025, and that is the ability to take an image or a prompt and turn it into a 3D world that you can navigate. Yes, an interactive 3D world generated from a still image. It's absolutely mind-blowing. So this is essentially our first steps into the world of spatial intelligence. So when I saw this technology, it reminded me a little bit of these 360-degree images, which have been around for years. You can use 360-degree cameras to do stuff like this, but you'll notice with stuff like this, it's static, right? I'm in one position. For instance, I can't move to this position over here, right? I can just view this entire image from a single spot. So that's where this technology is revolutionary. I would be able to move around in the scene and see it from multiple angles. So without yapping too much, check the link in the description. It'll bring you over to this World Labs blog where you can test these examples yourself. And down here, I've actually selected this one of this luxurious interior. So right now, by left clicking and moving my mouse around, this reminds me of a 360-degree image, right? But you notice with the 360-degree image, I could not do this. Right, I can now move forward and I'm using the WASD keys. So you can see I can actually walk around this environment. However, there does seem to be quite a strict limitation on the boundary that gets set, but I'm sure this will improve over time as the technology improves. But this is still incredible that I can navigate what was a 2D image that is now a 3D environment. So you can see if you're doing storytelling, maybe there's characters that were sitting on this couch, so you could have a scene like this. But if the camera actually moved to another section of the room, the lighting is going to be consistent. The interior and the overall architecture is going to be consistent as well. So this just introduces a whole new level of consistency for storytelling using artificial intelligence. So I thought this was also pretty cool. So once the scene is generated, which is generated live in the browser, by the way, as you can see over here, you're actually able to apply different photographic effects. In this case, you can control the depth of field or the aperture. So controlling the amount of blur that's visible in your image according to its distance from the camera. So you can see over here, I'll be able to control the overall depth of field. So yeah, that's really cool that you're able to do that with these scenes. So you can even do the infamous Dolly zoom with these 3D generated worlds, which is pretty cool. And this is essentially an effect that's been in filmmaking for many years. It's basically when a camera moves in but zooms out at the exact same time, or vice versa, to create this effect. You can now do it with these 3D worlds that get generated. So I thought this was also very interesting. So the way that it makes it possible to visualize these 3D scenes is with a depth map. So you can see over here, you can even turn on the depth map, and over here it says each pixel is colored by its distance from the camera. So depth maps has been something you've been able to generate for years. For instance, here's an image that I just uploaded to Immersity AI, and whatever's closer or closest to the camera over here is going to be lighting color, and whatever is further away is going to be darker. So if I turn on depth map, you can see over here this octopus is a lot light in color, which means it's closer, and obviously this is darker, it's further away. So the same thing applies over here. The only thing is it's colored. So you can see if I turn on depth and I move further away in the scene, you can see where that statue is right now gets a lot darker. So as I move closer, it gets lighter. So depth is playing a very important role over here in order to visualize this entire 3D scene. Another cool thing, because the 3D scene has actually been structured and depth has been applied, you can actually use these interactive effects. So you can see you can even apply a spotlight on here. They've got this sonar effect that ripples across these rocks and even the face of this structure over here, which I thought was quite cool. Right, so the ability to apply effects as well on top of this 3D scene generated from a 2D image is quite interesting. There's even the ability to apply passive effects to animate the scene. So in this case, Russell is actually making the leaves on this tree move. So yeah, I can imagine once you start applying multiple effects on top of each other within your scene, or selective effects to certain objects, that's probably when its true potential will be on display. But yeah, it's still really interesting to see early development. One more tip, you you don't just have to be limited to WASD to move forward and backwards. If you press Q and E, you can even rotate like this while holding down the left mouse button. So you can do a bit of a rotation within the scene as well, which I thought is quite interesting. So you get like these crazy perspectives. So something else that I tried over here was I took one of the videos from World Labs. I basically screen recorded it because if you don't do anything on World Labs, I'll actually go to the website. If you don't interact with the scene over here, it automatically generates this camera movement. So I screen recorded this with OBS, took it into CapCut and just prepared a file. And then I essentially uploaded this video file to Runway because Runway has a video to video feature. So the video to video feature applies like a different style to it, but the most important thing about this is that it essentially copies the camera movement. So what you could do over here is you could generate a 3D world with World Labs from a 2D image and basically do some storytelling by controlling the camera movement, and then you could feed that to Runway's video to video to get a much higher quality output, because obviously the output from World Labs right now does not look good. It's very muddy and blobby, so this is just one way to get a much higher quality output by using video to video. So this next one I'm about to show you, I think it takes World Labs to a whole other level, and it's in development by Google. It's called Genie 2. So it works with the same premise. You either have a text prompt or an image, and it converts it into a 3D interactive world that you can explore. So the reason why I think this one is absolutely crazy, well, you can see over here, they put in a prompt. It says generate a playable world on a spaceship. So it's going to do that. Right, the AI builds this world, but you can see this is in a first-person perspective, and now the person's moving around inside this environment. They've interacted with a button, and the door in front of them even opens, so it's like you're playing a video game. Over here, we've even got it in a third-person perspective, which is pretty crazy, and we even have physics. All right, so we've got a boat that's moving the surface of the water. Alright, so you can see they're generating all of these playable characters and even NPCs that can interact with these worlds that get generated with AI. So absolutely insane what this is capable of doing. And over here you can see that they've used Imagen 3, which is actually Google's text-to-image generator. So they've generated this environment, but over here they're actually using an AI agent, right? Which is a intelligent agent that's been deployed within the scene. They've given it instructions. In this case, they wanted to walk to the red door or the blue door, and the AI agent does exactly what it's commanded to do. So now they've instructed AI to interact with the AI, which is mind-blowing to me. And of course, some pointers over here on how it can be beneficial. So it says for game developers, it can enable rapid prototyping of interactive experiences straight from concept art. So maybe you've got a team of artists that have built out an image with some concept art, and they want to jump into that image, walk around it, and interact with it, which could possibly generate some additional ideas that they could build out into a proper scene. But depending on how advanced this gets, maybe it'll get to the point where the concept art as we see it in this image will be exactly how it looks like when it turns into something interactive. Because right now, of course, you can see it's very low res, a bit blobby. So it still has quite a long way to go. But let's see. I mean, AI is advancing at a rapid pace, and it's only a matter of time before these tools improve and continue to blow our minds. If you guys want to learn more about Genie 2, check the link in the description. It'll bring you over to this page. You can obviously see a lot more examples over here of what Genie 2 is capable of doing during its early days. Okay, so my final thoughts. I personally think, the introduction to spatial intelligence is very cool. So as a 3D artist, I like the fact that I have more control over these generated images that get turned into 3D environments. Being able to walk around essentially inside an image is mind-blowing to me. However, I understand it's early days, so the output or the quality of these generations don't look good, but that'll improve. That'll definitely improve over time. And of course, the fact that I can only walk a couple of steps within an environment is extremely limiting. It doesn't really feel like I'm exploring a 3D environment, but I'm sure that it will improve with time as well. Anyway, I'm always on board for new technology and seeing how things get developed. So let's see where spatial intelligence goes. And I want you guys to let me know what you think. Do you think this is amazing, or do you think it's a load of nonsense? You guys let me know what you think. All right. Anyway, you guys are super awesome. Stay tuned for some more videos and tutorials, and goodbye.